Respect. Let's tackle this little word. This word which sometimes has no substance to it. In many ways, it's akin to the word love, an overused word, particularly by those that have no capacity to understand it. Take the word love, for instance. We hear love this, love that. Every song is about love, practically. And yet, there's very little love in the world. Because love has lost all meaning, all substance. It's now a word we use to get what we want, or to express an emotion that we have no understanding of. Same goes for respect. We use it as if it's something divine, something magical, something mystical, something transcendental. And yet the basic root of respect is intimidation, anxiety, in other words, fear. What do we respect? We respect that which threatens us directly, our own well-being, or that which threatens us indirectly, that is, threatens to withhold something we need and we consider important to our well-being. For instance, we respect our parents, our teachers, because we fear that they will withhold what we need of them and from them. Once respect is absent, such in the case as with sheltering environments, then respect wanes, diminishes. The mind becomes impressionable. It has a sense of invulnerability, a sense of entitlement. It thinks it can do whatever it wants, say whatever it wants, and nothing will happen to it. This is shelter. This is because most people within sheltering environments have no understanding and no experience with fear, because they've never actually faced any dire consequences. When they do, they understand it, but most don't. Take, for instance, the recent economic crisis. Here we had a nation of supposedly mature individuals spending away as if they deserved luxuries and mansions and a certain lifestyle, with no care in the world. They had no respect for money, because they knew, or in the back of their heads they knew, that no matter what happens, the system is there to save them, to protect them from their own stupidity. And this is why they did not care. Now, why doesn't a woman fear entering a bar full of men with their tits hanging out? Because she doesn't care. She feels protected, safe. The system is there, so she feels no fear. Why doesn't a child fear? Because it's raised without with a sense of entitlement and without the concept of fear. The adult is not something to be feared, so it's not something to be respected. He could just, swear at an adult, and the adult can only run to the police. He can only sue. He can only complain to his parents. So the child is indestructible, it feels. Nothing can harm it. It feels powerful without any reason to feel powerful. All of this within the sheltering environment that offers it that sense of empowerment. Take, for instance, feminism and females. In the past, having unsafe sex or sex with many males was a dangerous affair. One can get pregnant. One could face the repercussions, the social repercussions. One can face the family outcry. One can face the costs. A woman's life was pretty much over with once she got pregnant, and she did not have a father there to support her. So she felt careful. She was careful. She didn't just fuck around. She was careful with who she went. She had to test them first. Not so today. Today she is fearless. She has contraceptives, and if not that, she has the system protecting her. She has a system that forces the man to pay alimony. So she's fearless. She feels invulnerable. For her, a child could even be a method of controlling the man, of getting back at him, or simply of gaining support from the system directly. So she can be as much of a slut as she wants. There's no fear. So she doesn't care. Sex becomes inconsequential, irrelevant, superficial. Just pussies and cocks interacting. There's no outcome, because whatever outcome comes about will have no long-term dire effects. So there's no reason to be careful. So everybody is lowered down to the state of a child, an infant. We can just play, fuck around, indulge, be hedonistic without a care in the world, because the system is there protecting us, sheltering us, making sure that no matter how stupid we are, how retarded, how infantile, it is always there to protect us from ourselves. This is why in more sheltering environments, in other words in modern environments, we get this superficiality, this sense of disillusionment, the sense of boredom. Nothing matters. Nothing has a consequence. Everything is trite and inconsequential and irrelevant. And for this reason, it's meaningless. It doesn't fulfill us. The mind, you see, is a tool which has evolved within more austere environments, and it was meant to to deal with immediate needs and threats. Once the system stepped in and sheltered it from these immediate needs and threats, and fulfilling its needs became easy and it felt safe, it became bored. Now the system does that because it gains something from it. It receives a reward. It makes the mind dependent upon it, more malleable. But it also produces excess mental energies. The minds now have to be distracted. They have to be dealt with. They have to be made innocuous, so they don't become a threat to the system. So this is why we get the entertainment industry, pornography, games, sports events, and so on. But in the end, even these don't suffice, because they are constructed within controlled environments, and they're not really that risky. When a boxer goes into a boxing ring, he knows there's the referee there, and no matter how weak he is in relation to the other, the referee will step in, and even if he gets knocked out, the paramedic will step in and he will be rushed to a hospital. So the risks are mitigated, so he can have a fight and pretend he's all macho and stuff, because he knows that there's no real big threat. So we see in all areas that fear is decreased, and as fear is decreased, boredom has increased. But more than boredom, what's increased is disrespect, carelessness, the sense of being indestructible, which results in every woe we perceive around us. And with the loss of care, with the absence of respect, what we get is an absence of attention, an increase in retardation, in mediocrity. The mind doesn't have to pay attention much, because there's nothing much that can hurt it, so there's nothing much to pay attention with. Everything has to be revved up a notch. Everything has to become extraordinary for it to pay attention, because the world has been made so dull. In other words, with the elimination of fear, anxiety, care, we get a loss of self-discipline. with the loss of self-discipline, we maintain the organism at the point of infancy or adolescence. It doesn't have to mature, so it doesn't.